You watch movies in English and understand. You read and the same thing happens. But when someone speaks to you in real life, your mouth stops working. You feel frustrated. You feel stuck. If this is your case, I understand. I was there too. I lived this for 10 years. But today, I want to share a different approach with you. Let's call it immersion shadowing. My name is Petra. I'm 35 years old. I work as a nurse in Hamburg, Germany. One day, a tourist asked me a simple question in English. I knew the answer, but I couldn't speak. I just pointed with my finger. I felt stupid. That night, I understood something important. I lived in German and only visited English. You're not lazy. You don't need to move to London. You need to bring English into your life every day. In this video, I'll show you how I did it. 4 simple changes. Free, powerful. Before we start, I want to make a deal with you. Watch this story for at least 5 minutes. Give your brain time to process the information. The big problem in today's world that keeps you from learning anything like you want to is jumping from video to video every 20 seconds. That's why I'm asking you to watch for at least 5 minutes. Deal? Let's begin. The alarm goes off at 5:30 in the morning. My small apartment in Altona is dark and silent. Altona is a neighborhood in Hamburg, close to the river. I live alone here, in a 1-bedroom apartment on the 3rd floor. The building is old but comfortable. From my window, I see streetlights and some cars passing by early. Hamburg is still sleeping, but my day is starting. I open my eyes and grab my phone from the nightstand. The screen lights up my face. Everything is in German. The time, the weather, the notifications, everything. I check my messages. My colleague from the hospital sent a message in German about today's shift. I read it quickly and put the phone aside. Then I get up, go to the bathroom, and look at myself in the mirror. My face looks tired. I worked a long shift yesterday, 12 hours at the hospital. My body is sore, but I'm used to it. This is my routine. This is my life. I brush my teeth while thinking about my day in German. I think about my patients, my tasks, my schedule. Everything inside my head is German. I go to the kitchen and turn on the radio. A German news program starts playing. The voice talks about politics, weather. I listen while I make my breakfast. I sit at the small table near the window and eat slowly. Outside, the sky is turning light blue. A new day in Hamburg is beginning. But inside my mind, something feels wrong. I feel trapped. I've been living the same routine for years. I wake up in German, I think in German, I work in German, I go to sleep in German. English is something I study, not something I live. I remember my English courses. I remember the grammar books, the vocabulary lists, the listening exercises. I did everything correctly. I passed all the tests. I can read medical journals in English without a dictionary. I understand complex sentences about medications, treatments, surgeries. At home, I watch American TV shows on Netflix. I understand the jokes, the drama, the conversations. I don't need subtitles most of the time. So why can't I speak? Why do I freeze when someone asks me a simple question? The answer is clear now, but it took me 10 years to see it. I lived in a bubble, a safe, comfortable German bubble. English was always outside my real life. It was something I practiced in a classroom or on an app for 30 minutes. Then I closed the app and went back to my German world. I never let English into my daily routine. I never gave it space to grow. I treated English like a hobby, not like a language I actually wanted to use. This morning, I make a decision. A small decision, but serious. I'm not going to wait anymore. I'm not going to take another course. I'm not going to buy another app. I'm going to do something different. I'm going to break my bubble. I'm going to bring English into my morning, into my kitchen, into my mind. I don't know exactly how yet, but I know I have to start today, right now. Not tomorrow, not next week, today. I finish my coffee and stand up. I go to my room and open the closet. I put on my nurse uniform, a simple blue scrub with my hospital badge pinned to the pocket. I pack my bag with my water bottle, my lunchbox, and my phone. I look around my apartment one last time before leaving. Everything here is German. The books on my shelf, the notes on my fridge, the calendar on the wall. My entire life is designed in one language, and that's the problem. I close the door behind me and walk down the stairs to the street. The cold morning air hits my face. I pull my jacket tight and start walking to the bus stop. Hamburg is waking up now. I see other people on their way to work. Some are drinking coffee from paper cups. Some are listening to music with headphones. Everyone looks busy. Everyone looks normal. But I feel different today. I feel like I'm carrying a secret plan, a plan to change my life without leaving my city. Now I want to ask you something. Think about your own life. Do you also live in a bubble? Do you wake up in your language, think in your language, and only visit English for a few minutes? If yes, you're not alone. Write in the comments right now a simple sentence. I live in a bubble. Tell me your language. Spanish bubble, Portuguese bubble, German bubble. Don't be shy. This is the first step. Knowing your bubble exists is how you start to break it. The bus arrives at 6:15. I get on and find a seat near the window. The bus is half full with people going to work. Some are reading newspapers, some are looking at their phones. I sit down and take my phone out of my bag. The screen lights up. Everything is still in German. Settings, apps, messages, everything. I look at the screen for a long moment. I open the settings menu. My finger hovers over the language option that I want to set to English, but I have some resistance to leaving my comfort zone. This feels bigger than it should. It's just a phone, just a setting, but somehow it feels like I'm about to jump into cold water. I think about all the times I used my phone today. I checked the time, read messages, looked at the weather, set alarms. I use my phone about 53 times a day. Each time I see German. My brain reads German automatically without thinking. It's comfortable, it's easy, it's safe. But comfort is my enemy now. Comfort is what kept me silent for 10 years. So I tap the language option and a list appears. I scroll down. English, United Kingdom. I tap it. A message appears asking if I'm sure, then I press confirm. The screen flickers. When it reloads, everything is in English. The buttons, the menus, the notifications. Everything in English. At first, I feel lost. I try to find my messages, but the icon label has changed. I try to adjust my alarm, but I don't recognize the menu name immediately. I feel frustrated. My brain wants to switch back to German. It would be so easy, just a few taps, and everything goes back to normal. But I don't do it. I hold myself back. I remember the tourist. I remember his kind face waiting for my answer. I remember my silent mouth and the shame I felt. No, I'm not going back. I forced myself to read the English labels slowly. Messages, settings, calendar, photos. These aren't difficult words. I know them. My brain just needs a few seconds to adjust. After 2 or 3 minutes, I start to feel a bit more comfortable. I open my messages and read a notification from the hospital. The shift starts at 8. Simple, clear. I understand. I smile a little. This isn't so bad. The bus moves through Hamburg streets. I look out the window at the buildings, the shops, the people walking. Nothing outside has changed, but inside me, something is different. And in my hands, my phone is now talking to me in English. Every time I unlock it today, I'll see English. Every notification, every reminder, every app name. This isn't a 30-minute lesson I finish and forget. This is constant. This is real exposure. I think about what this means. Most people touch their phone 50 to 100 times a day. If each touch brings me a bit of English, that's 50 to 100 little lessons. Not boring lessons from a textbook, real lessons, practical lessons. I'll learn words like low battery, message sent, alarm set. These are everyday life words. These are the words I really need. When I arrive at the hospital, my phone is still in my hand. I check the time, 8 o'clock. I read it in English. I check my schedule. The shift ends at 6. I read it in English. I feel a small victory growing inside me. I didn't study today. I didn't open a grammar book. I didn't sit at a desk. But I've already used English 5 or 6 times this morning just by living my normal life. I walk into the hospital lobby and greet my colleagues. We speak in German, of course. My patients speak German. My work is in German. But now, in my pocket, in my hand, English is there. Quiet, patient, waiting for me every time I check the time, every time I read a message, every time I look at my screen. It's not outside my life anymore. It's inside my life now. Now it's your turn. Stop this video right now, grab your phone, go to your settings, find the language option, change it to English. Don't think too much about it. Don't wait until tomorrow. Do it now. Yes, it'll feel strange at first. Yes, you'll need a few extra seconds to find things, but that strangeness is growth. That confusion is learning. I'll wait here. Go. Change your phone to English right now. Oh, and if you made it this far, 5 minutes have already passed, right? So I helped change something in you, so subscribe to the channel and leave a like on this video. Now let's continue. It's 12:30 in the afternoon. My shift is halfway done. I walk through the hospital's quiet hallway toward the break room. I push the door. The room is empty. Good. I sit at the table and open my lunchbox. Inside is a sandwich, an apple, and a water bottle. I take a bite of the sandwich and chew slowly. Then an idea comes. A strange idea. I remember a video I watched last week. A man said he learned English by talking to himself. He described his actions out loud. He narrated his life. At first, I thought it sounded crazy. Talk to yourself? But now, sitting here alone, I think that maybe the crazy idea is the one that works. I look around to make sure nobody's coming. The door is closed. I take a deep breath. Then, in a very low voice, almost a whisper, I say, "I'm eating a sandwich." My voice sounds strange in the empty room. I feel embarrassed, but I continue. I say, "The sandwich is good. I'm drinking water now." I grab my bottle and take a sip. This feels silly, but it also feels powerful. My mouth is moving. My tongue is forming English sounds. I'm not reading. I'm speaking. I stand up to throw the wrapper in the trash. While I walk, I whisper, "I'm walking to the trash. I'm throwing it away. Now I'm walking back." I sit down and look at my phone. A notification appears in English. New email. I say out loud, "I have a new email. I'll check it later." Then I look at the apple. I say, "This is an apple. It's red. I'm eating it now." For 5 minutes, I continue this practice. I describe everything I see. I look out the window and say, "I see cars. The sky is gray. It's cold outside." I make coffee and say, "I'm pressing the button. The coffee is hot." The more I speak, the less embarrassed I feel. My voice is low. Nobody can hear me, but I can hear me, and that matters. This is even relaxing because the things I've already seen today at the hospital are very heavy. When my break ends, I go back to the hallway. A colleague passes by and says hello in German. I smile and answer in German. My work continues in German, of course. But something has changed. I just practiced speaking English for 5 minutes. Not grammar, not flashcards. Real words about my real life. Now you try. Look around you. What do you see? Say 3 things out loud in English. I see a phone. I see a table.
I see a cup. Don't write. Say it. Use your voice. Pause the video and speak 3 sentences right now. And write in the comments too. This is a way to practice. Use this video to practice shadowing. Take phrases from this video and just repeat them. Your mouth muscles need to work. The hospital shift ends at 6 in the evening. I take off my nurse uniform and put on my normal clothes. My body is exhausted. 12 hours standing, walking, lifting patients, checking monitors. My feet hurt. My shoulders are tense. All I want to do is go home, sit on my couch, and disappear into a TV show. This is my routine every night, my escape, my reward for a long day.
I walk to the bus stop in the cold December air. Hamburg is dark now. The streetlights glow orange. People are rushing home from work. I stand at the bus stop and grab my phone to check the time. The screen is in English now. 6:23. The bus will arrive in 5 minutes. I put my phone back in my pocket and wait. My mind is thinking about what I'll watch tonight. Maybe a crime series. Maybe a comedy. Something easy. Something that doesn't require thinking. The bus arrives. I find a seat and sit near the back. I close my eyes for a moment. I'm so tired. The bus moves slowly through evening traffic. After 20 minutes, I arrive at my stop. I walk the short distance to my building, climb the stairs to the 3rd floor, and unlock my door. Finally, home. I drop my bag on the floor, take off my shoes, and go straight to the couch. I grab the TV remote and turn on the television. The Netflix menu appears on the screen. Rows and rows of shows and movies. I scroll through the options. Everything is set to German. German titles, German descriptions, German audio. This is what I always do. I watch in German because it's easy. I don't need to think. I don't need to focus. I just relax and let the story take me. But then something stops me. I sit with the remote in my hand, staring at the screen. I think about this morning. I changed my phone to English. At lunch, I spoke to myself in English. Those were my first 2 changes. But if I'm honest, they're not enough. I use my phone for a few minutes. I talk to myself for 5 minutes. But I spend 2 or 3 hours every night watching TV. 2 or 3 hours in German. That's a lot of time. A lot of wasted opportunity. I know what I need to do. I need to make my 3rd change. But this one feels harder, much harder. Watching TV is my relaxation time. It's the only part of my day where I don't work, don't think, don't try. If I change to English, I'll need to focus. I'll need to read subtitles. I'll get tired. My brain will hurt. Maybe I won't even enjoy the show anymore. But then I remember something. I already understand English when I watch. I've already watched many American and British shows before with German subtitles. I understood the English voices. I laughed at the jokes. I followed the plot. The only reason for keeping the German subtitles was comfort. Comfort. That word again. My enemy. I take a deep breath and open the settings menu. I change the subtitle language from German to English. Then I change the audio language to English. My hands are shaking a little. This feels like a big decision. I'm about to spend my evening, my precious relaxation time, in English. I select a show I've never seen before. A simple drama series. Nothing too fast, nothing too complicated. I press play. The first episode starts. The actors speak in English. The subtitles appear at the bottom in English. At first, my brain struggles. I'm reading the subtitles and listening at the same time. Sometimes I miss what's happening on screen because I'm too busy reading. I feel frustrated. I want to pause. I want to go back to German. This isn't relaxing. This is work. But I don't stop. I keep watching. After 10 minutes, something starts to change. My brain starts to adjust. I start to hear the words and read the subtitles at the same time. They match. They connect. I start to predict what the subtitles will say before I read them. I start to understand without needing to read every word. By the end of the episode, I feel less tired. I actually enjoyed the story. And I realized something important. I just spent 40 minutes surrounded by English, not studying, not memorizing, just living inside the language. Now I want to challenge you. Tonight, when you watch something, change it to English. Change the audio. Change the subtitles. Yes, it'll be harder at first. Yes, you'll feel tired, but your brain will adjust. Write in the comments right now what you'll watch in English tonight. A show, a movie, a video. Make the commitment. Write it. 3 months have passed since that first day. 3 months since I changed my phone to English. 3 months since I started talking to myself in the break room. 3 months since I changed my Netflix to English. Tonight, I'm sitting on my couch in my apartment, and I notice something strange. I'm thinking in English, not trying to think in English, just thinking, naturally, automatically. Earlier today, I woke up and my first thought wasn't in German, it was in English. I thought, I'm tired, I need coffee. I didn't translate, I didn't force it, it just appeared in my mind like that, in English. In the shower, I narrated my actions without even deciding to do it. I'm washing my hair. The water is hot. I need to hurry. These sentences came out of my mouth automatically, like breathing. At the hospital, during my lunch break, I sat alone in the break room again, but this time I didn't feel embarrassed when I spoke to myself. I said, "This soup is too salty. I don't like it. I'll eat the bread instead." My voice was calm, confident. Talking to myself in English is normal now. It's part of my routine. Some of my colleagues have noticed. One of them asked me last week, "Petra, why do you talk to yourself?" I smiled and said, "I'm practicing English." She laughed and said, "You're crazy." Maybe I am, but I'm getting better. Last night, something amazing happened. I had a dream. In the dream, I was walking through Hamburg and someone asked me for directions in English. In the dream, I answered immediately. I said, "Yes, of course. Go straight for 2 blocks, then turn left. The station is on your right." My answer was clear, fluent, confident. I woke up smiling because I realized my brain is changing. English is no longer a foreign language. It's becoming part of me. But the real test came 2 weeks ago. I was walking home from the hospital on a Thursday evening. The streets were busy. People were leaving work, going to restaurants, meeting friends. I stopped at a crosswalk, waiting for the light to change. A young woman approached me. She looked nervous. She was holding her phone and looking around. She spoke to me in English with an American accent. She said, "Excuse me, do you know where Reeperbahn Street is?" For a second, I felt the old fear. My heart beat a little faster. But then something different happened. My mouth opened and words came out. Real words, clear words. I said, "Yes, it's not far from here. You need to take the S-Bahn. Go to the station over there, take the S1 or S3 train. Get off at Reeperbahn Station. It's about 10 minutes. She smiled and said, "Thank you so much." I smiled back and said, "You're welcome. Have a nice evening." She walked away. I stood there at the crosswalk with tears in my eyes. Not sad tears, happy tears, proud tears. I did it. I spoke. I helped someone. I didn't freeze. I didn't panic. I didn't point with my finger like an idiot. I used my voice. I used my English, and it worked. That moment changed everything for me. I realized I don't need to move to London to speak English. I don't need to quit my job and travel the world. I don't need expensive courses or private teachers. I just needed to stop living in German and start living with English. I needed to make English part of my daily life, not something I study for 30 minutes and forget. Now, English is everywhere in my life. My phone talks to me in English. My Netflix shows teach me in English. My own voice practices in English. My brain thinks in English. My dreams happen in English. I still make mistakes. My pronunciation isn't perfect. My grammar has errors, but I don't care anymore. I'm not trying to be perfect. I'm trying to communicate. And I can. Finally, I can.
So now it's your turn. I want you to make a plan. A real plan. Not tomorrow, not next week, today. Write 3 things you'll change in your life to bring English closer to you. Maybe you'll change your phone's language. Maybe you'll start talking to yourself in the shower. Maybe you'll watch a show in English tonight. Choose 3 things. Write in the comments right now using this format. 1, I will. 2, I will. 3, I will. Make your promise here. Make it public. When you write it, it becomes real. Thank you for listening to my story. If this video helped you, please share it with someone who's also struggling to speak English. We're all learning together, step by step, word by word, mistake by mistake. I believe in you. Now go. Start your first change today.